Brenton, and I'm going to be talking about polycarbonate in the additive manufacturing form. So this is actually a piece of 8020 or T-slot or whatever you want to call it that was printed using FDM with polycarbonate. And the company that printed it actually probably said it was one of the strongest FDM materials I've ever used, because it is actually one of the strongest plastics available. The things that make polycarbonate super useful is actually it has incredibly high strength, incredibly high impact strength, and extreme ductility compared to most plastics. You can actually take it and form it like it's sheet metal. It's so flexible and so strong that you can just bend it and it'll hold its shape afterwards. Some typical applications are eyeglasses, in case people didn't know that, because it has such a high clarity and strength, and it's actually it was the material they switched to from glass, I think. And then the second thing in the middle there is actually a new roofing material that just came out that's made of polycarbonate. Apparently they're using it in a lot of places in China. I had never heard of it until now. And then riot shields are also made of polycarbonate, if you ever need to worry about how strong it actually is. And I included the typical form it comes in, which is just a plate, is what you can buy it in most of the time. So I gathered some properties from a couple different companies and was able to actually come up with some sort of ranges that I guess give you an idea of how strong it is. And you can see that UTS actually crosses into what a bulk property would be for this. And I have to qualify this with every single one of these that is on the top end was from Stratasys commercial grade materials. So very, very expensive and very, very high quality, and I'm not sure I believe them 100%. Because polycarbonate in bulk form is really, really strong and really flexible. Like it's hard to believe.
It's why you can use it for bulletproof glass, because
Yeah.
when a bullet hits it, instead of shattering because it breaks, it will just kind of deform around the bullet.
Yeah, it's also got a huge impact strength, so it doesn't explode when you do that. Yeah, so you can see that pretty much everything except elongation is almost there. I guess impact strength isn't very high either, but that has to do with the low elongation. So this is one of the manufacturers of a polycarbonate. Yeah, at $100 a kilogram is a lot for just a plastic, but it, from what I've read, is also one of the hardest materials to fuse deposition model, and it's because it doesn't like to cold weld to anything. So some of the printing requirements, which are insane for most standard printers, unless you have the one nozzle available right now that can do 300 degrees Celsius, you won't be printing this material. And also have a bed that can go to over the boiling temperature of water, which almost none of them can do. Which is why Stratasys is one of the few companies that has actually commercialized printing polycarbonate. And it loves to absorb water. So you have to put it in a vacuum for several hours before you can actually print with it, which is something that people have problems with, like PLA and a little bit with ABS, but this is much, much worse than any of those materials. And then the other one is obviously Stratasys, because I've said it like 3 times. And I listed the material properties they gave us and the single example they have of something they've printed with polycarbonate, but there's nothing else. They won't tell me price, how it's printed, or how anything is done at all, because it's probably all patented somehow. But this is where I got some of the ultra high material properties compared to the bulk properties of a typical. I was only able to find one case study because, like I said, this is a very difficult type of 3D printing right now, and nobody really has used it in anything besides we printed it to see how strong it is. So this is something that somebody's actually thinking of doing, and they're using a type of polycarbonate that is biocompatible, actually. So it's completely BPA free, which is the only concern. And our bodies don't slowly dissolve it like they would PMMA. So it can actually just be in your body, but it has to be removed at some point because it's not just going to go away. So this thing is very small, 2.45 centimeters cubed, which I mean is, I don't know how big a Canadian dime is. This is just what they had. Okay, so it's really small. So that little circuit board is actually inside of this model, and they're thinking they can actually place this right by your heart and then have a couple capillaries that go out and actually monitor heart valves so that they can either do research or help keep somebody alive. So I mean, hopefully they'll print it and it'll work, but I have no idea if they're going to. Could just be a PR stunt. So my first research study was actually a laser-sintered version of polycarbonate to determine how the energy density would affect end material properties. And they did density and tensile strength. So I had to kind of squish these. I should have just put them on 2 slides, but the first one you can see is density. And well, the first thing to notice is that our energy densities are super low, like 0.1, whereas with metals it's like 20. So you can print with a lot less energy with plastics. So you can see that around 10 here were the maximum density, and then they printed 2 different directions. So the high one is they loaded it in line with the way they printed, and then the low one is when they loaded it. I think does not wake up when they loaded it perpendicular to the directions. But you can see it's right around the same energy density because the highest part density gives you the highest tensile strength, obviously. I mean, especially for polymers. And you can see that the actual theoretical density of polycarbonate is about 1.2 grams per centimeter cubed, and they got about a theoretical density of 88%, is what I kind of guessed based off of their graph. Research study was actually adding tungsten to a polycarbonate matrix, and they used fused deposition modeling and only tested a 5 weight percent tungsten and a unfilled polycarbonate to see the difference. They were trying to find out is actually if they could add tungsten to polycarbonate to improve it. They discovered that it actually improves that ability by about 10%, and it doesn't cause any huge detriments to the strength of the part. As you can see, the ultimate tensile strength is about the same, and the impact resistance is actually a little bit higher. But they were having huge problems printing this with FDM because polycarbonate has a huge thermal expansion coefficient also. So it's just a terrible material to try and print, which is why there's a general lack of people actually applying it to anything besides does it sort of work.